These are some further instructions on drawing cubes in perspective in Photoshop from my digital drawing class. The instructions, uh, first part of it here, uh, describes for you what it is that exactly that I want you to do, which is to set your canvas to 17 inches wide by 11 inches high in a landscape format and set the resolution to 150 dpi. This should be adequate for what we're going to do here. Next, when it opens, I want you to create a new layer above layer 0. So unlock the background layer, which is the white layer, and I want you to just leave that one alone. So you're going to create another layer above that, and you're going to name it Horizon. We've been doing this already along in two-point perspective, so a lot of this should be familiar to you. Now place a rule line this time at about the 5-inch mark, about little less or a little more than halfway above the middle of the canvas area. And then I want you to open up your pen tool and set the pen size to 12 pixels and make sure that it's at the maximum hardness. And then click Shift Align across at the 5-inch line. This creates your horizon line. Now you can move the rule line out of the way. It'll look like this. And I want you to create another new layer and name it the construction lines. Again, this should all be very familiar to you at this point. Now I want you to create another layer really quickly above that and name it vanishing points above the construction line and set your color picker to red. And then I want you to create 2 vanishing points at about an inch in from either side of the canvas so that it'll look like this. I want you to then position a vertical rule line at about 6.5 inches, the 6.5 inch mark from the left-hand margin of the canvas. And then I want you to drop back into your construction line layer and change the color picker to light blue. And set your brush size to 12 pixels and use maximum hardness again. And now you're going to draw some lines in at the bottom. They begin the construction lines of rectangular boxes. We're going to create a series of rectangular boxes, and the first ones are going to be drawn below the horizon line, or this will be your below eye level position. So it'll look like this. Now continue adding the lines so that you get the top of those that box. And then I want you to drag in 2 additional vertical rule lines and add the 2 back edges of the box like that. And then I want you to add in the back lines to the vanishing points and the back hidden edges of the boxes. So this is your below eye level box. Now begin a new box at the horizon line or at eye level, and make sure that you add the back edges directly above the box below using the same rule lines. And again, complete the lines back of the edges of the box to the vanishing point. So you have another complete box drawn at normal eye level. Then you should now have 2 boxes constructed, one directly over the top of the other. What I want you to do now is add a 3rd box directly above the one at eye level, and this will be the above eye level condition. Now I want you to create a new layer and name it Cubes. And then using your color picker, change your color to black. And set your brush size to 15 pixels with a maximum hardness. And the next thing after that I want you to do is to outline all of the back sides of your boxes. Notice that I have left out the bottom edge of the lower or the below eye level box. Now I want you to change your brush size to 10 pixels. And then I want you to draw in the remaining lines of the boxes. The reasons for leaving the bottom edge of the bottom box is because I want to kind of give the impression that it is sitting on the surface of the drawing plane. So if it were sitting on a tabletop, that one would be sitting on the bottom, and there's no air behind it because it's sitting on a surface. Now I want you to create a layer above the cubes layer and name it Shading. And some of you I know have been doing this already. And using your lasso tool and your gradient tool, I want you to highlight and shade in the front faces of the boxes like this. And then I want you to do the ends. And now set your color picker to white and highlight the top of the below eye level box and fill it with white. And that will make it look like that. Now your boxes should look like this. I want you to place black on the bottom of the top layer box because that one is shown down, so the light source coming from the top, it'll make the top box look black on the underside. Now I want you to turn off your construction lines, and you should have something that looks remarkably like this. And then I want you to create one more layer called foreground and position it below the construction line but above the horizon line layer. And then I want you to grab your marquee tool, which is directly below the move tool, and I want you to drag open a box that starts at the top of the horizon, or at the bottom of the horizon line, and extends to the bottom of the canvas. And then using your gradient tool, I want you to fill it with a color that looks like this. Notice how the cubes now appear to relate to the background better. And then one final thing, if you've done a very careful job of adding your shading, and everything seems to be butting up against one another, try turning off the lines of your cube layer to see what it looks like. It probably will look something like this. So now what we've got is just the shaded areas of the cubes residing above the foreground shading that we've added to the canvas layer. Then later on, what I was asking everybody to do was to construct a set of cubes, but not like the ones in the previous example, but where they kind of like step back or stair step. And that is what this looked like. Simply do 2 eye level studies in Photoshop. Create a simple stair step perspective going from below eye level to above eye level. Notice that this time the rectangular boxes are not lined up directly over one another, but appear to step back as they go away from you. And you can do this with an orientation going either to the right or the left. I don't care. I just want you to be able to figure out what it would look like if you actually did this. I hope this instruction in Photoshop helps some. It's not often that you actually have to construct perspectives in Photoshop, but if you should have to, these will help describe how to go about doing that. Hope this helps. See you guys in the next video.